Back with us now, Arizona Sheriff Mark Lamb. It's great to have you back on, Sheriff. The border crisis is now hitting middle America, the heartland. Drug gangs are slamming local law enforcement in cities and towns. We're talking local law enforcement in states across the country, warning that the president's collapse of the border is creating a dramatic surge in illegal alien drug networks and pipelines for fentanyl, methamphetamine, and more throughout the country. They're armed with guns, too, caught at traffic stops and things like that. What do you say to this story?
Oh, that's exactly true, Liz, and thanks for having me on. I've been saying all along that this whole border crisis is not just about human trafficking, but it's about drug trafficking into cities across America. And they are feeling the effects of the people that are committing crimes in their communities, people who came into this country undetected, not to mention the drugs that they're bringing in, the methamphetamines, the fentanyl. This is going to cause chaos in these communities. And every day, more and more communities in the heartland of America are seeing this fentanyl coming in there.
You know, Sheriff, thanks for your service to our country. You're a terrific guest. It's been a hard fact for the media to understand. Border Patrol chiefs, agents, government officials have repeatedly warned, and so have watchdog groups, that when you weaken the border, it creates crime. People get killed. This is not humane. It encourages predatory behavior. Again, this is not compassionate. This is lawlessness. It invites suffering. It causes fraud and coercion and more. The annual human trafficking business is estimated to be $2 billion a year. Transnational criminal networks work the border. China is in there, too, involved in drug smuggling. Your reaction?
You encompassed it all right there. I mean, look, there's so many components to this, but when you break it all down, the cartel is making money hand over fist because of these terrible policies of this administration. They say they're making about $15 million a day on human trafficking, drug trafficking, and then they're undermining the rule of law. That is probably one of the biggest issues that we're dealing with right now in law enforcement, is the undermining of the rule of law, and it's deteriorating our communities, and it's exhibiting itself in high crime in a lot of these cities and communities across the country.
So when you're an addict, if you're a drug addict, right, and you get a gun, this is what I'm quoting law enforcement. They're saying that drug addicts trade their guns for more drugs, so that, further arms the drug gangs. Let's watch what an NBC host said about what's happening at the border. Watch this.
You and I have talked about this many times. America's just got a warped sense of what immigration policy should look like. It's obsessed with the southern border and criminality.
Okay, obsessed with the southern border. Let's show the illegal alien convictions for crimes and how they have quadrupled versus 2020. How can you talk about an obsession when the media is not covering the victims of crimes? Sheriff, your reaction to that?
Yeah, Liz, they're doing everything they can to cover up for this presidency and their failed administrative policies as it relates to the border and, frankly, protecting the rule of law across this country. We as sheriffs, we're fed up. You said there's watchdog groups. I've been saying the same thing on your show, Liz, for a while. This is what's coming to America and what's been here. I've got a group, Protect America Now, where sheriffs come together, standing up for the rule of law, standing up for the people and the Constitution. Check it out at protectamericanow.com. We're trying to do what we can.
Well, the problem is that critics have said that you have ivory tower TV anchors. Many of them live in gated communities or in secure buildings, far removed from the reality of what people on the ground have to deal with. At the border, we're seeing human smuggling cartels moving their operations literally out of hiding right out into the open, across some Texas border neighborhoods, within yards of the border towns. So, I think it's safe to say that any reasonable person would be frustrated to hear how the D.C. media, D.C. New York Beltway, the henhouse echo chamber of let's edify each other and not go out there and do reporting, how they are frustrating the American people who have to suffer through what's going on. Your reaction?
Yeah, I have my constituents all the time tell me, hey, Sheriff, start dumping these people off at the politicians' houses and neighborhoods or the media's houses, and then watch them cry for border security. That may be what it takes, because right now, like you said, Liz, they live in their ivory towers, and until it affects them on a personal level, they're never going to tell the truth to the American people, but we will.
It's about immigration. Everybody's for legal immigration. What we're talking about is crime. Sheriff Mark Lamb, it's great to have you back on again. Thank you for your service to our country.